The day I got engaged to Ethan, his childhood friend threw a huge scene at our engagement party. She even cut her wrists. The engagement ceremony was ruined. And I was just tired. Before we continue, please subscribe to this channel and let us know in the comments where you are listening from. Outside the emergency room, everyone was frantic, including Ethan. Only my expression was cold and weary. They're coming out, they're coming out. The lights of the emergency room went out, the doors opened, and a doctor in a white coat walked out. She's fine, we saved her. I saw everyone sigh in relief, and I did too. I took off my bridal veil, held it in my hand, and walked, dragging my long train, towards a relieved Ethan. Ethan saw me approach, took my hand, and smiled wearily. Thank goodness she's okay. Yes, thank goodness. If something had really happened, not only would Ethan never get over it, but neither would I. After all, I'm just a person. I wouldn't force someone else to die just for my love, would I? Ethan, at his parents' insistence, accompanied Chloe to her hospital room, while I slumped against the wall in the hospital corridor. Soon, 4 people stood before me. Chloe's mother's eyes were red. Ava, I know you're a good girl, but you've seen Chloe's love for Ethan. If you and Ethan stay together, who knows, one day she might not be saved. Chloe's father glared at me. Chloe and Ethan grew up together, and we always thought they'd end up together. Ethan choosing you now is just youthful folly. Once he matures, he'll still be with Chloe. Ethan's mother looked at me pleadingly. I know it's not fair to say this to you, but could you please step aside for Ethan and Chloe? I know my son, he might seem indifferent, but he's heartbroken, especially since they share such a long-standing childhood bond. Ethan's father was indignant, giving me a stony look. I never agreed to them being together in the first place. You kept saying young people should make their own choices, and now look what's happened because you spoiled him. All 4 had the same goal, to force Ethan and me to break up. Ethan and I had been together for 3 years. Anytime we showed a little affection, Chloe would become depressed. She took sleeping pills over 10 times, went to the rooftop 7 times, and cut her wrists 5 times. Every time, Ethan was filled with self-blame and guilt. Our relationship felt clandestine. Like secret agents. I was like a hidden lover. We finally managed to get secretly engaged. Then she appeared out of nowhere and cut her wrists. There are plenty of other fish in the sea, but she insisted on trying to kill herself. She must be messed up in the head. Actually, they didn't need to push me. After today's shock, I was already terrified. I was afraid Chloe would actually die. I'd feel guilty for the rest of my life. I was also afraid that Chloe had mental issues. And would Ethan, her childhood sweetheart, catch it? I couldn't risk it. I highly value my life. But a breakup needed to be clear, face to face. Everyone, I said, rising to my feet with my hands pressed against the floor, you don't need to persuade me. I've already decided to break up. Since is fine now, I'm heading back. I'm truly exhausted. Under the stunned gaze of the 4 elders, I calmly walked towards the main entrance. Returning to the apartment Ethan and I bought together, I lay down to rest without any emotional burden. My words today were enough for those elders to use every trick in the book to keep Ethan. Sure enough, Ethan didn't return all night, and there wasn't a single call. Anyway, we were breaking up, so whether he came back or not didn't matter to me. In college, Ethan pursued me for 4 whole years, saying I was his first love. After graduation, he followed me to my city. Seeing his persistence, I reluctantly agreed to be with him. If only I had known he had a childhood friend who threatened to end her life at the drop of a hat. I'd never have agreed to be with him, not even if you killed me. After 3 consecutive days, Ethan finally returned. His face was pale with exhaustion. Seeing me, his eyes held a hint of grievance. Ava, I'm so tired. Seeing his exhaustion and dependence, I felt a pang of sympathy. But if I stayed with him, I would have to live in constant anxiety. A feeling of helplessness surged through me again. He who hesitates is lost. I took off the ring from my finger and handed it to him. Ethan, we're not right for each other. Let's just end it. The exhaustion on Ethan's face instantly froze, replaced by an incredulous blankness, as if he'd been splashed with ice water. He grabbed my hand. Ava? What are you saying? And what? Is it because I haven't been back these past few days? Let me explain, Chloe, I sharply pulled my hand back, the ring almost falling to the floor. Stop. Don't mention Chloe to me. Just hearing her name makes me nauseous, and by extension, you too. I walked around him, heading straight to the walk-in closet, and began to pull out my largest suitcase. It has nothing to do with your childhood friend. I simply feel that being with you will shorten my life. He blocked the closet door, his tall figure casting a shadow of oppression, his eyes red-rimmed. Shorten your life? Ava. For years of college, 3 years of work, and just because I took care of Chloe, you're rejecting everything about me? Don't you know how I feel about you? I love you. I sneered, haphazardly stuffing a pile of clothes into the suitcase. Ethan, your love is too heavy. It comes with a childhood friend who could spill blood at any moment. Your love makes me live every day under the shadow of if she really dies, we're criminals? Sorry, I highly value my life, and I can't play these heart-stopping games. I forcefully snapped the suitcase shut, the zipper grating loudly. Here's your ring back. Let's part ways amicably. As for this apartment, live in it if you wa. And sell it if you don't. Just transfer half the money to my account. I don't agree, he growled, grabbing the suitcase handle. Why do you get to decide we're over? Chloe was suicidal, we grew up together. How could I not care for her? What did I do wrong? Just because I looked after her these past few days? Ava, a life is at stake. Can't you be less cold-blooded? I actually laughed in anger, trying to pull the suitcase back, but he didn't budge. Fine, I'm cold-blooded. Ethan, I'm telling you, I've had enough. I've had enough of your childhood friend who self-harms at the slightest provocation. To manage her emotions, I practically turned myself into your secret lover. I've had enough of you rushing off like a firefighter at the first sign of trouble, leaving me far behind. I've had enough of your family's eyes, which so naturally treat me like a homewrecker, as if I'm desperately clinging to you. And most of all, I've had enough of this constant anxiety, fearing that one day I'll open my phone and see news of her successful suicide, and then everyone, including you, will look at me with that "it's all your fault" expression. Ethan, your love is honey-coated poison. I'm afraid of dying, so I'm not taking it anymore, okay? I let go of the suitcase and turned to grab another bag for valuables. Let go. Don't force me to report you for illegal detention. He seemed rooted to the spot by my words, his grip on the handle loosening then tightening, his eyes pained and confused. It's not like that. Ava, I love you. Chloe, she's just sick, she needs help. If you don't want me to, I'll never help her again. Believe me. Not help her? Ethan, do you think that's even possible? With your bottomless indulgence and your entire family's unprincipled accommodation of her, you'll never escape her in this lifetime. I've realized something, me being with you will only provoke her. The best solution is for us to separate. That way, she won't make a scene. You won't be so weary. And I can live a normal life. I grabbed my bag and laptop. I waited until now just to make this clear to you, so we can part ways amicably. I tugged at my luggage, not letting go. Let go. I'm tired. Please, just let me go. He released his grip, his face full of hurt. Ava, I know you're angry. I messed up, I didn't take care of your feelings. I agree if you want to move out. Calm down, I'll give you space. But I won't agree to a breakup. I gave him a weary glance. Then, I walked out with my luggage. The moment the door closed, I heard the sound of something shattering inside. With nowhere else to go, I checked into a hotel. Ethan called every day, but I hung up without hesitation every time. The text messages also piled up. Just like when we first started dating. He'd share his daily life with me. Every day, he'd make my favorite dishes and deliver them to my office. Even if I refused or didn't even see him, he stubbornly continued his routine. He was stubbornly convinced that we hadn't broken up. My colleagues all tried to persuade me. It's just a little lover spat, let it go. He's such a good guy, don't miss out on a good thing. After he once again bought afternoon tea for everyone in the office, I pulled him to a secluded corner. Ethan, we've broken up. Please don't do this anymore. It's causing me a lot of trouble. Ethan pulled me into a hug, his voice choked with emotion. Ava, I don't agree to breaking up. Please don't break up with me, okay? Tell me what I'm doing wrong, and I'll change it. Anything, as long as you don't leave me. Ava, we love each other so much, please don't give up on me so easily. The familiar warmth of his embrace made me long for it for a moment. But then I pushed him away. Wiping my face, I said, Ethan, I made myself very clear that day. Your love can't solve Chloe's problems, nor can it eliminate the fear I feel knowing she might try to kill herself at any moment. I'm emotionally exhausted. I don't want to live in this constant anxiety anymore. Before I could finish, his phone suddenly rang with an ear-piercing sound, Chloe's personalized ringtone. Looking at Chloe's call, I gave a detached smile. Answer it. Don't regret it if something happens to her. Ethan looked at me, his eyes full of conflict. But in the end, he answered the phone. Chloe, I've made it clear to you, don't bother me anymore, you. Ethan, it's Chloe's mom. Please come to the hospital quickly. Chloe woke up and didn't see you, she cut her wrists again. Please, Ethan, come see her quickly. Ethan, Chloe grew up with you, please, I'm begging you. Chloe's mother's broken voice came through the phone. As expected, Ethan panicked. Ava, wait for me. Chloe, her mom called, said she's not doing well again, I have to. Watching his hurried retreat, I scoffed. See, it's always like this. There's always something more important, more urgent than me, always a Chloe who might self-harm at any moment. Something that makes him leave me without hesitation. Even when he's begging me to come back to him. Emotionally exhausted. More emotionally exhausted than ever before. I even wanted to leave this city. To escape far away, let all these annoying people and things go to hell. But as my finger slid across the phone screen, seeing the important project progress being discussed in the workgroup chat, that impulse was forcibly suppressed. Give up the career I'd built for years for a man? Not worth it. Ethan disappeared again for 2 days, with no contact. 2 days later, Chloe appeared before me. She looked utterly pathetic, begging me. Ava, please, can you give Ethan back to me? I really can't live without him. Last time I cut my wrists, I truly didn't want to live. I really wanted to step aside for you both. But doesn't want me to die. He still cares for me, protects me, he still loves me. So please, give Ethan back to me. If you just give Ethan back to me, I'll do anything. You ask. Ava, I want to live. Please, give Ethan back to me. Save my life. She grabbed my arm, her fingers icy cold, trembling nervously. A wave of intense irritation rushed to my head. During the 3 years I dated Ethan, she blackmailed me with her life for 3 years. Now that I'd broken up with Ethan, she was still harassing me. I forcefully shook her hand off, stepping back to create distance. Chloe, listen clearly, Ethan and I have broken up, completely over. If you've got the guts, make him marry you. Don't bother me. And your life is your own, whether you can't live or not is your business, it has nothing to do with me. If you're sick, see a doctor, don't come out here acting crazy. My coldness seemed to provoke her. She suddenly lifted her head, tears still clinging to her lashes, but her eyes held a frantic look. You're lying, you haven't broken up at all. You're definitely still seducing him, otherwise why would he keep looking for you every day? Why won't he come back to me? Why won't he agree to marry me? He's afraid I'll get hurt, afraid I'll die. He does care about me, he does love me. It's all you've been clinging to him, haven't you? You're stopping him from marrying me, aren't you? It must be. She took a step closer, her voice turning shrill. Get out of this city, stop bothering Ethan. Get out of here. Once you're gone, Ethan will marry me, he'll come back to me, just get out. I almost laughed in anger. Are you really messed up in the head? Whether I break up or leave is my freedom, it's not your place to tell me what to do. I'll say it one last time, stay away from me. You won't leave, will you? The fragility on her face was instantly replaced by a desperate ferocity. Fine. If you won't leave, I'll die right here in front of you, right at your company's entrance. I want everyone to see that you stole my boyfriend and ultimately drove me to my death. You're a homewrecker who destroys people's relationships, a despicable woman. Everyone look. This woman is Ava, she stole my boyfriend, she's a despicable woman, a homewrecker. It was official quitting time. The area downstairs from the office building was packed with people. Chloe's shouts attracted a crowd of curious onlookers. Isn't that Ava, the marketing? She stole someone's boyfriend, her character must be terrible. She's so young to be a marketing, who knows how many people she had to hook up with to get there. Someone like her is truly despicable, getting called out by the rightful owner of the boyfriend, ugh. Chloe looked at me triumphantly. Everyone, bear witness. This despicable woman named Ava is driving me to my death. More and more people started pointing fingers at me. I roared, looking at Chloe's smug face. Listening to the malicious speculation around me, my anger reached its boiling point. Chloe, I'm not your father, I'm not your mother. I don't care if you live or die. If you're going to die, do it far away, don't spoil my view. With that, I turned to leave. A lunatic. Whether she died or not was none of my business. Screech. Behind me, there was a piercing scream and the sharp screech of car brakes. I whirled around, my heart stopping. Chloe had actually rushed into traffic. A black sedan screeched to a halt, barely brushing her body. The driver, shaken, stuck his head out and cursed loudly. If you want to die, go do it in secret, don't try to frame me. Chloe sat paralyzed in the middle of the road, barely half a meter from the car's bumper, her face ashen white like a ghost, her entire body shaking like a leaf. "Chloe!" A familiar, heart-wrenching roar exploded. Ethan rushed over like a gust of wind, yanking the limp Chloe back to the roadside. He held her tightly in his arms, checking her anxiously up and down. "Chloe, are you okay? Are you hurt anywhere? Don't be scared, don't be scared." He suddenly looked up at me, who was still frozen in place. His eyes, once full of love, were now blazing with fury and icy disappointment, even hatred. "Ava, what did you do to Chloe?" Her mood was clearly better. She had promised me she wouldn't try to kill herself again. "She said she was coming to apologize to you, so why is she trying to kill herself again? What exactly did you do to her? Did you provoke her again?" "All the mistakes are mine, but she's a patient, how could you provoke her?" Someone nearby pointed out. "That woman just said for this lady to die far away, not to be an eyesore." "Yeah, I never thought, she looks good, but her heart is so venomous." "If she hadn't said that, the other lady wouldn't have been so impulsive." Ethan looked at me in disbelief. "Ava, when did you become so malicious? Do you hate her so much that you want to drive her to death?" Chloe was whimpering in his arms, her fingers clutching his shirt tightly, like a lifeline. She didn't rush into traffic earlier or later, only when Ethan arrived. She wanted to die herself, I didn't force her. How dare Ethan treat me like this? The humiliation of being wrongly accused, the anger of being misunderstood, the long-suppressed anger. It collided violently in my chest like a volcano, almost bursting through my ribcage. Watching him hold Chloe, listening to his indiscriminate accusations, seeing the undisguised conviction in his eyes that "you are the killer." All my reason and upbringing snapped in that moment. "Ethan, are you effing blind?" It was her, this messed up in the head lunatic, who came running to me, telling me to give you back to her. I told her we broke up, told her to get lost, and then she effing threw another tantrum and ran into traffic herself. To die in front of me? She wanted to die herself. Was I supposed to kneel and beg her not to die? Whether she dies or not, what the EFF do I care? I'm not her mother. Ethan was stunned by my outburst, and he subconsciously retorted, "She's a patient, you should just let her have her way." "What she?" I was consumed by rage, my words spilling out uncontrollably, my fingers trembling as I pointed at the two of them. "You two, one is insane, and the other is completely insane. You're a perfectly miserable pair of lunatics. You're both effing sick, and not just a little bit. You, Ethan, this effing woman's constant suicidal behavior today? It's all because you enabled her. You knew she was sick, yet you indulged her without limits. She makes a scene, and you feel sorry for her. She throws a fit, and you compromise. She cuts her wrists, and you abandon your fiancé to be by her side. Now she's trying to die in the street, and you effing rush out to be her savior again. If you cared for her so much, if you couldn't let go of her, why the EFF did you pursue me in the first place? Why did you drag me into this mess of yours?" I then forcefully pointed at Chloe again. She flinched, shrinking back into Ethan's arms. "And you, Chloe? What else can you do besides blackmailing others with your pathetic life? Sleeping pills, jumping off buildings, cutting your wrists, and today a new trick, getting hit by a car? Do you think the world revolves around you if you die? I'm telling you, if you die, it'll mean absolutely nothing. Go die far away, find a deserted place, and die quietly. Stop effing disgusting me. The way you two act, you're absolutely perfect for each other. You two should be eternally bound. I'll swallow the key. And I wish you both a lifetime of tormenting each other. Just stop polluting my air." After shouting that last sentence, I felt the pent-up frustration in my chest finally release. But it was followed by an even deeper exhaustion and a complete, chilling coldness. The surroundings were eerily silent, broken only by Chloe's suppressed sobs and Ethan's heavy breathing. Ethan's face was ashen, his arms stiff as he held Chloe. He seemed to want to say something, his lips moving a few times. But in the end, he just looked at me with an incredibly complex, utterly unfamiliar gaze. It held shock, embarrassment, and perhaps a hint of awkwardness from being hit where it hurt. Chloe, in his arms, secretly glared at me with eyes mixed with fear and malice. Ethan's voice was hoarse, carrying an undeniable command. "Apologize. Ava, you clearly know Chloe is sick, and you provoked her. You must apologize to Chloe. Even though you're my fiancé, you can't go too far." "Fiancé, apologize?" I felt like I'd heard the biggest joke. "Ethan, do I need to remind you that our engagement ceremony was never completed because the woman in your arms cut her wrists? We've already broken up. You're still calling me your fiancé? Are you messed up in the head? Make me apologize to this lunatic who's blackmailing with her life. You're truly sick. I took a deep breath, casting a final glance at the toxic couple clinging together, as if the whole world was persecuting them. I felt nothing but immense sarcasm and utter disgust. Remember my words, you two, be eternally bound. Don't ruin my life. Just seeing you two disgusts me. I turned, pushed through the onlookers, straightened my back, and walked away with long strides, not looking back. Behind me, Ethan's roar, suppressed with fury, echoed, Ava, stop. I said I don't agree to break up. You're still my fiancé. I paid no attention. Only one thought was in my mind, go, I must go, leave this cursed place immediately. Perhaps the heavens heard my frantic cries. A few days later, company management approached me for a talk, citing business expansion needs. They wanted me to head the newly established Suncoast division, for at least a year. It was a rare opportunity, and a significant challenge. Without a moment's hesitation, I immediately nodded, yes, I'll go. The plane soared into the sky, leaving Viridian City, full of suffocating memories, far behind. Looking at the rolling sea of clouds outside the window, I finally felt a long-lost sense of relief, like surviving a disaster. The air in Suncoast City was humid and warm, carrying the scent of unfamiliar flowers and plants. The new job was full of complexities, and busyness became the best anesthetic. I thought distance and time would bury all the absurdity from Viridian City. I changed my phone to a local number, blocked Ethan on text messages, as if severing all ties to the past. Until one late night, after finishing overtime, I returned to my rented apartment. Casually scrolling through my social media feed, a live stream link from an almost forgotten mutual friend was frantically flooding the screen. Like an icy needle, it unexpectedly pierced my eyes. The title was shocking, Heir of the Vance suicidal over heartbreak. Passionately calling for ex-girlfriend to return. My heart felt as if an invisible hand had brutally squeezed it, stopping its beat instantly. A cold fear mixed with intense absurdity shot to the top of my head. I clicked on it with trembling fingers. The screen was shaking violently. The background was the familiar rooftop edge of the Vance headquarters building in that city. The night wind howled, pressing Ethan's shirt tightly against his body, outlining his terrifyingly gaunt silhouette. He stood barefoot on the edge, less than half a meter wide, swaying precariously. Below were flashing police lights and fire department air cushions, the gasps of the crowd faintly audible. The live stream comments scrolled wildly, oh my god. Is he really going to jump? Is that Ava woman's heart made of stone? Just say yes to him. Is it worth it for a woman? But the young Mr. Vance is so devoted, that woman is too cruel, pushing him this far. Who is Ava? So cold-blooded? A life is at stake, how can she just stand by and watch? At Ava, come out and say something. Saving a life is the greatest good, can't you just agree first and talk later if there's a misunderstanding? Exactly, a life is at stake, just get back together and stabilize him. If he really jumps, will your conscience ever be clear? TSK, this woman is really cruel, driving a man who loves her so much to jump. How hard-hearted must she be? Ethan faced the camera, or rather, the imagined me watching the live stream, his voice hoarse and broken. He spoke with a desperation nearing collapse and a reckless obsession, Ava. Ava. I know you can see this. You blocked me. You're hiding from me. I'm going crazy. I was wrong, I was truly wrong. I shouldn't have cared about Chloe, I shouldn't have let you suffer. As long as you come back, as long as you agree to get back together, I'll listen to whatever you say. From now on, whether Chloe lives or dies, if I, Ethan, care about her again, I swear. He stumbled forward a step, and a huge scream instantly erupted below. Ava, please, say something to me. Agree to get back together with me. If you don't agree, I'll jump from here. I mean it. Without you, what's the point of living? Can you really bear to watch me die? We dated for 4 years in college, and 3 years after working. We just got engaged a few days ago, how can you heartlessly abandon me? You know how much I love you. Ava, answer me. Are you really going to drive me to my death? If my death is what you want to see, then I'll die, as long as you're happy. He shuffled forward another half step, seemingly about to fall off the rooftop. Immense fear and towering fury violently collided in my chest, almost bursting open. This again, blackmail with suicide again. Using death to bind me. Did the Vance family and the Miller family inherit this utterly despicable gene? I grabbed my phone, almost instinctively, and clicked on the live stream call-in request. Perhaps due to back-end chaos, or someone on Ethan's side manipulating it, the request was instantly connected. My avatar and voice were, unexpectedly, projected onto the live stream screen, viewed by millions, this moral judgment aimed squarely at me. Ethan. Are you effing completely insane? Or have you been completely assimilated by that lunatic Chloe? On the live stream screen, Ethan visibly flinched, then looked incredulously towards his phone, his clouded eyes erupting with a feverish glint. Ava? You finally agreed to see me. You still care about me, don't you? Let's get back together. I really can't live without you. Shut up. I shrieked fiercely. Jump. If you've got the guts, jump right now. If I, Ava, so much as flinch, I'll take your last name. My chest heaved violently, the anger accumulated over months, the grievances from Chloe's repeated death threats, the endless annoyance of being harassed, and the utter loathing for this despicable moral blackmail. In that moment, it all erupted like a volcano, pouring out onto the madman on the other side of the screen, who was holding millions hostage. You think if you die, I'll feel guilty? That I'll regret it? That I'll be moved to tears by your love and live in lifelong remorse? Pfft. Dream on. It's a pipe dream. I'll just think you're a complete, hopeless idiot. A coward. A spineless wimp. Throwing your life away for a woman, using your life as a bargaining chip, kidnapping my emotions, kidnapping public sympathy to force me to give in? Your ancestors would be turning in their graves because of your despicable tactics. You and Chloe, that idiot woman who cuts her wrists or crashes cars at the drop of a hat, only ever using self-harm to threaten others? You two are a perfectly miserable pair of absolute weirdos. A perfect match. You're both effing jerks who only use death for moral blackmail and emotional extortion. You two should be eternally bound. I'll just throw the key into a volcano to melt it. You two can go to hell together and torment each other until the end of the universe. Just stop effing polluting the world and disgusting me. My voice echoed through the live stream, every word delivered with the fierce resolve of burning all bread. Guess. The live stream comments exploded instantly. Holy crap. Is this woman insane? Cursing someone who's about to jump? Even if the guy's moral blackmail is wrong. This woman's mouth is too toxic. Doesn't she fear provoking him to jump? She'd live with guilt forever. Oh no, now he's really provoked. He's definitely going to jump. This woman's heart is too venomous. How can she be so cruel? Doesn't she have any sympathy? The man loves her so much. If I were her, I'd be crying and agreeing to get back together already. Feels like both of them are crazy. They should be stuck together and stop tormenting others. The hope on Ethan's face instantly froze. His eyes were hollow and despairing, as if all his soul had been sucked out. Ava. You. Hate me that much? He mumbled, shifting his body out another half step. Yes, I hate you. I hate lunatics like you who use their lives as weapons. I stared at him, my eyes devoid of any warmth. If you're going to jump, then jump already. Stop dilly-dallying like a wimp. Jump and end it all. I'll thank your entire family. After shouting that last sentence, I refused to look at his nauseating face, which was plastered with "You made me do this." I ended the video call directly and exited that suffocating moral judgment arena. The screen went dark, leaving only my heavy breathing and pounding heart in the room. My palms were drenched in cold sweat, and my body trembled uncontrollably. I rushed to the bathroom, splashing cold water fiercely on my face, trying to extinguish the deep-seated coldness, anger, and fear. The next day, the local news headline popped up: love-struck heir of Vance's failed suicide attempt last night, rescued in dramatic fire department operation. Fortunately, no life-threatening injuries. The 4 words, "no life-threatening injuries," felt like a lifeline, making me almost collapse to the floor. Thank goodness. Thank goodness he didn't die. Otherwise, no matter how much I hated or cursed. In my waking nightmares, the shadow of what if would truly haunt me for a lifetime, leaving me sleepless. Just as expected. Childhood friends. I forced a smile at my reflection in the mirror, a smile uglier than a cry. They're both effing messed up in the head, seriously ill. This time, I blocked every possible way he could contact me. I set up keyword filters for my email and even considered moving. I thought my resolve would make Ethan realize my determination. But I underestimated Ethan's obsession. Or rather, he had been completely consumed by so-called love. Or more accurately, by possessiveness and resentment, which had utterly burned away his reason. 3 months later, on a gloomy weekend afternoon, I was returning from grocery shopping, carrying heavy bags, approaching the apartment building's security gate. A figure so familiar it sent chills down my spine emerged like a ghost from the nearby shadows. It was Ethan. He was shockingly thin, his eyes sunken, his face unshaven. Expensive clothes hung wrinkled on his frame, but his eyes gleamed terrifyingly. He stared intently at me, his gaze swirling with a nearly insane obsession and desperate recklessness. Ava. I finally found you. A huge wave of panic instantly seized me, and the shopping bags dropped to the ground with a thud, fruit scattering everywhere. Ethan, how did you find this place? What do you want? I demanded sharply, instinctively stepping back, my hand reaching into my bag for my phone to call the police. Don't be scared, Ava, I won't hurt you. I was wrong, I shouldn't have pressured you, but I truly love you, and I don't know how else to make you stay. He quickly stepped forward, then knelt before me with a thud. Ava, don't call the police, please. Just let me explain. He looked up, his eyes, once full of arrogance, now brimming with tears. I know I was wrong, terribly wrong. I'm a bastard, I deserve to die. I shouldn't have let Chloe manipulate me, shouldn't have disappointed you and hurt you again and again. I love you, Ava. I truly love you, deeply in love. He crawled forward a step, grabbing hold of my pant leg. These past 3 months, every day has been like living in hell. No word from you, not seeing your face, not hearing your voice. I'm going crazy. I tried to forget you, tried to start over, but I can't. When I close my eyes, I see you, and when I open them, it's still you. You're like a brand etched into my soul. He pounded his chest forcefully, producing a dull thud. Ava, look at me. I don't want anything else. The company? To hell with it. The family? I don't want them anymore. Chloe? I've made it completely clear to her. I only want you. If only you'd come back to me, we could leave this place, go somewhere no one knows us, just the two of us. Start over. Please? I'll spend my life making it up to you, dedicate the rest of my days to treating you well, and only you. He knelt there, tears streaming down his face, utterly abject. He recounted those warm moments we once shared, moments that were truly real. His clumsy pursuit when we first met, the milk tea he secretly ordered for me in college. His persistence in chasing me from far away after graduation. Those feelings, once real, now overshadowed by his frenzy, spread like a poisonous mist. To say I wasn't moved would be a lie. My chest felt as if an icy hand had squeezed it hard, and a bitter ache spread through me instantly. Watching his current humiliation, his pain, and those filtered memories he'd dug up, an indescribably complex emotion welled up inside me. Was it pity? Sadness? Or that faint ripple from the past, buried by madness for too long, almost forgotten? My body tensed, my lips slightly parted. The cold words get away caught in my throat, unable to be uttered for a moment. A tremor of hesitation, like a crack on ice, quietly appeared. In that very instant, at the moment my resolve was torn open by that brief flicker of hesitation. Ethan, a white figure burst from the nearby greenery like a cannonball. It was Chloe. Ethan, are you abandoning me? You're giving up your family for this despicable woman? Then what's the point of me living? She shrieked, her voice twisted and distorted by extreme rage and despair. In the split second Ethan looked up in terror, and I snapped back to reality, realizing what she was about to do. Chloe had already lunged in front of Ethan, her right hand raised high. In her hand, tightly clutched, was a utility knife blade glinting coldly. No, Chloe, stop. Ethan, utterly terrified, roared as he tried to scramble up to stop her. But it was too late. Slicing, Chloe, using all her strength, brutally drew the sharp blade across her slender left wrist. The movement was decisive and precise. Blood didn't well up, it gushed out. It was a blinding scarlet, staining her white dress, and dripping onto the cold ground. Time seemed to freeze. The horror on Ethan's face and his urgency to stop me instantly froze, transforming into complete stupor and disbelief. His mouth hung open, eyes wide, almost bursting from their sockets. Watching the blood gush from Chloe's wrist, it was as if his entire world had collapsed. Chloe, however, seemed to feel no pain at all. She even shook her profusely bleeding hand, letting more blood splatter onto the ground. There was no pain on her face, only a nearly frantic, pathological sense of triumph and twisted satisfaction. Her voice, trembling and weak from blood loss and agitation, said, Ethan, look, she doesn't love you at all. She hesitated, she despises you. Only I am willing to bleed for you, to die for you. My blood, my life, they're all yours. As she spoke, her body swayed, and her face visibly drained of color. But her eyes remained fixed on Ethan, dead and greedy, as if she meant to drag him down to hell with her. Ethan finally snapped out of his profound shock, letting out a broken roar, full of despair and fury. Why, like a cornered beast, utterly enraged and losing all reason, he sprang up from the ground. Not rushing towards Chloe, but rather, like a madman, he violently grabbed his disheveled hair, tugging at it forcefully. Chloe, what the hell do you want? Are you insane? Do you have to drive me to my death before you're satisfied, huh? He lunged forward, roughly grabbing Chloe's still bleeding wrist. He pressed down hard on the wound with all his might, desperately trying to stem the terrifying flow of blood. Let me go. I'm begging you, Chloe, please, just let me go. What will it take for you to let me go? Do you want me to die in front of you, huh? Is that it? Chloe whimpered in pain from his rough handling, but still weakly and stubbornly leaned into him. I just want to be with you. Ethan. Don't leave me. All the blood in my veins seemed to turn to ice. That momentary flicker of hesitation had long been washed away by the gushing blood and hysterical madness. All that remained was bone-deep coldness and an out-of-body numbness. I didn't even bend down to pick up the scattered items on the ground. Instead, with cold, stiff fingers, I dialed the police. Then, I turned around. No running, no screaming. Just like a puppet drained of all its strength. Step by step, incredibly heavy yet incredibly resolute, I walked towards the cold apartment building entrance. The automatic door slid open silently, and I walked inside. I didn't look back at the toxic couple behind me, tearing at each other, entangled and screaming in a pool of blood. The heavy door slowly closed behind me, completely shutting out the nauseating smell of blood and the desperate roars. I gasped for air, my chest filled with a suffocating sensation. My body trembled uncontrollably, beyond just fear. There was also an extreme, soul-draining exhaustion. It was a bone-deep, all-consuming coldness, born from seeing the insane core of human nature. The police and ambulance arrived, taking Chloe and A.D. Istrad Ethan away. The building manager cautiously came to inquire about the situation. I dismissed him with a few words, merely stating it was harassment by a mentally unstable stranger. The world seemed to return to its superficial order. But I knew this was only a temporary calm. If could find me here once, he could find me again. The deep, bone-visible wound on Chloe's wrist. It would only become an inescapable, heavier chain for Ethan. And her leverage for even crazier actions in the future. They were like two vines, tearing at each other yet unable to fully separate. Poisonous, leaving a trail of devastation wherever they went. And I, merely an innocent person caught in their tangled mess. True fear didn't come from the cold glint of a blade or gushing blood. It was the bone-deep helplessness of being entangled by an until death do us part obsession. They weren't afraid to die, or rather, they used death as a weapon. Forcing me, a normal person who highly values my life, to retreat step by step until there was nowhere left to go. For several nights in a row, I woke up screaming from nightmares. Sometimes in my dreams, it was Ethan's precarious figure teetering on the edge of a rooftop. Sometimes, it was Chloe's wrist gushing blood. Sometimes, it was their two distorted faces rushing at me, screaming, "Why don't you love me? Why won't you let us be together?" Exhaustion. A heavy, soul-deep exhaustion, pressing down on me until I couldn't breathe. Call the police? Accuse him of harassment, threats? I could. But what about proof? The law could hardly pin down this kind of entanglement, hovering on the edge of emotional dispute and mental instability. On the contrary, it might escalate the conflict and provoke even crazier retaliation. Hide? Where could I hide? Move to another city again? Give up the foothold I'd finally established in my new job? Live in constant fear like a rat in a sewer? Why should I? A thought, amidst extreme exhaustion and fear of endless future entanglement, sprouted and entwined like a vine in the darkness, finally breaking through the soil. Perhaps, the only way to sever this toxic entanglement wasn't to fight, but to beg. Not to surrender to violence, but to yield to the logic of a madman. I sat in front of my computer, my fingers hovering over the mouse for a long time. Finally, in my long, cold block list, I found his name, Ethan. Taking a deep breath, I created a new blank document. The cursor blinked on the stark white screen, like my own hollow, anxious heartbeat. What should I say? Accusations? Denunciations? Scolding? I'd done all that before, and it was useless, except for escalating the conflict. Plead? Show weakness? Seek sympathy? No, that would only make him think he had an opening, and entangle me further. I needed a fatal blow, something to make him stop his harassment. I recalled what his parents had said to me in the hospital hallway. I remembered his look of relief mixed with heartache when he saw Chloe being wheeled out of the emergency room. I remembered the countless times he'd abandoned me to rush to Chloe's side. I remembered how he looked, holding Chloe, when he roared vicious at me, and I remembered his frantic affection in his eyes when he stood on the rooftop. A cold and clear realization, like a bolt of lightning, sliced through my muddled thoughts. I found the knife that could pierce his heart. My fingers began to tap on the keyboard, slowly at first, then picking up speed. With a nearly desperate release and a last-ditch calm, Ethan, I'm writing this letter not to show weakness, and certainly not to come back to you. It's to beg you, let me go. Let me go, just as you should let yourself go. I blocked you, hidden from you, fled far away, and even resorted to provoking you with the cruelest words. I thought that was enough to show my stance. We're over, completely over, there's no possibility. Yet you used jumping off a building, you used your life. You've turned yourself into a poisonous thorn in my life, impossible to remove, untouchable, tormenting me day and night. I'm tired, Ethan. Truly, I'm weary to my bones. So tired that I barely have the strength to hate you anymore, only boundless fear and disgust remain. I'm scared. I'm scared of your deep affection. Scared of your recklessness. Scared of what other crazy thing you might do next. Dragging me, or dragging Chloe, down to hell with you. So, I beg you. For the sake of the few good memories we once shared. For the sake of me being just an ordinary person who wants a peaceful life, let me go. Stop your searching, stop your threats, stop all your harassment and coercion in the name of love. Because now, in my eyes, you are just like Chloe in your own eyes. You begged Chloe to let you go. Just as I am begging you now. Let me go. I am not your salvation, nor your last resort. I am an ordinary person, pushed to the edge of a cliff by you and your equally insane childhood friend, who simply wants to live. For the sake of us both once highly valuing our lives, let me go. From now on, may our paths diverge, and we each find happiness. Ava. After typing the last word, I leaned back in my chair, feeling all the strength drain from my body. There was no anger in my chest, no sadness, only a desolate coldness. A sent successfully notification popped up, and I immediately blocked him again. The letter, like a stone dropped into the sea, vanished without a trace. There was no hysterical reply as I'd expected. No frantic calls from new unknown numbers. No sudden appearance of his figure downstairs. 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. A week passed. Suncoast City entered its rainy season. Continuous gloomy rain drummed against the windows, and the air was damp. I went to work as usual, came home, ate, and slept. Life was as still as stagnant water, as if that terrifying, blood-soaked entanglement had never happened. Just when I thought the letter had ultimately failed to penetrate his wall of obsession, a message arrived from an unknown number. There was no signature, just a single, short sentence: letter received. Take care of yourself. Nothing else followed. He understood. At least, he understood the most crucial, most fatal accusation. Now, in my eyes, you are just like Chloe in your own eyes. Thank you for listening to today's story. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and share it with your friends. We look forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments section. Feel free to share your opinions, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting stories. See you next time.